I, like many other people with an anxiety disorder, have never really loved crowds or large gatherings. High school, however, is all about large gatherings. Between pep rallies, football games, and dances, loud, anxiety-inducing situations are pretty much inevitable. However, now that I spend every weekday scrolling through Google Classroom instead of sitting in a real one, I, for the first time, actually miss large gatherings.
This year, schools across the country were forced to move to distance learning as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. JCPS schools have moved all programming online, which is why we're filming this over Zoom. Many students have struggled to adjust to this new structure of online learning.
We created this video to focus on the sometimes forgotten sector of the student population, those with mental illnesses and learning disabilities.
In the 2018-2019 school year, more than 7 million students ages 3 to 21 receive special education services. 95% of these students are enrolled in public schools, and they make up 14% of the total public school enrollment. In addition to disabilities, students can struggle with mental health issues such as anxiety disorders, behavioral disorders, or mood disorders such as depression. According to the National Institute on Mental Illness, approximately 1 in 5 people ages 13 to 18 struggle with mental health issues.
Teachers are trying their best to be flexible with students, and school districts are trying their best to balance learning and student safety in the middle of an unprecedented pandemic. Some students greatly prefer online learning, finding the option to learn from the comfort of their home freeing. But many students are struggling with school more than ever, and with COVID cases still rising, it is clear that much effort needs to be made in order to improve the structure of at-home learning.
But these are just the facts about neurodivergencies and mental illnesses.
And it doesn't represent the people who struggle with these issues every day. My name is Jacob Ham, and I just got tested for ADHD as a senior in high school.
So I have ADHD and dysgraphia. ADHD, I just fidget a lot and my focus is awful. And then dysgraphia, it just slows my writing process down. Like, I process things pretty fast. My hand just goes like 2 miles per hour.
Lots of people, if they don't get diagnosed as a kid, they start to really struggle in high school, because high school is really when you are on your own, having to be more organized, having to be able to remember due dates, focus on homework, take care of like long-term projects, which is a lot more difficult. And then with NTI, at least for me, has been kind of nail on the head with having to be on your own.
I got myself a planner for the first time, so I'm doing pretty well, which my friends are pretty proud about because they're like, whoa, she's planning for the first time in her life.
Doing work from home is a lot more difficult. Just sitting down and forcing myself to do the work, getting up off the bed or off the floor, wherever I'm sitting, and motivate myself to do the work or to do like anything that I want to do rather than just kind of like sitting and staring at a wall.
I know this is gonna sound kind of dumb, but like I got my first B because I was forgetting about my homework, my online homework. I tend to not be able to focus, like no matter what environment I'm in. Like first part of school, I tried to do it at my desk. I still was getting distracted. I always have to have like 3 tabs open to keep my mind like stimulated so I can focus on one thing. I know that sounds very, very odd. My time management skills are very, very bad. I don't know, I feel like it's actually like a very, very serious thing to have, which I'm also trying to learn and understand myself too. Like, again, my mom got me an ADHD coach because she's like, Lily, I don't think you understand how much this is affecting you. On NTI, I think they're doing a great job with trying to accommodate everybody. So I really don't think that they could do anything else. I just wish we would go back in person, but I mean, I don't want to get COVID, and I definitely don't want to give my family COVID, so.
There are many different ways neurodivergence and mental illness reveal themselves when it comes to online learning. While some struggle with getting work done and motivating themselves, others, like myself, struggle most with new situations that come with online learning, such as breakout rooms and class presentations. My whole life, I've learned to cope with anxiety-inducing situations in in-person learning, but now I feel like I'm starting from scratch. On that note, I'm going to go film my day in the life. See you guys later. I'm Ella Metzmeyer. I'm a sophomore at Manual, and I have pretty severe anxiety, and I am one of the 3 reporters on this story. I thought NTI would be so much easier because I don't actually have to see people, but I've realized my Zoom anxiety is super, super bad, and every time I have to unmute myself, I just get really, really anxious, and it's hard for me to even get words out. But I found that work-life separation to be so much harder because I do homework in my bed and I sleep in my bed. So I'm always constantly just thinking about school.
So I've been diagnosed with generalized anxiety and non-attentive ADHD, and I got diagnosed by that by my therapist in August. I don't know, it's like a mental block. It's like a voice in my head. It's like, Celia, you have these assignments to do, open your computer, and my computer's sitting right there, and I'm like, I can't do it, I can't open it, and I don't want to do it, but I have to. And it just got way worse now that it's continued. I'm ready to go back now. And I think teachers do their best to accommodate. I've told most of my teachers that I have anxiety, or at least I did last year. This year, I feel like I don't even know my teachers at all. I see their faces for 80 minutes, and it's over a screen. They don't know I have anxiety. I want them to know, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to make their life or their job more difficult than it has to be, because I know everyone's life is insane right now, and I don't want to add to that. For sure, the presentation aspect of online and in person is still I get super, super, super anxious. If there's not a hand-raising thing, the teacher might not see it right away, and they'll just be like, I have a question, and they'll just be sitting there. And some people, for me, it's hard to just unmute and just say it out loud. I rehearse what I'm gonna say before I do it, so yeah.
These days, it seems like the only crowds I make contact with is the crowds of worries and anxieties packed tightly between my temples. However, students are growing more accustomed to online learning by the day with the help of their teachers and peers. We're trying our best to get up in the morning, log on to our computers, and learn, despite being distant and distracted.